Hi everyone, it's time for JenTalk 6 Theory, Defining and Applying Theory in Empirical Research. I think one of the most complicated things for students who are not in the habit of writing proposals for research is figuring out how theory integrates into their proposals. First, let's define theory. A theory, generally speaking, is an explanation of something that's based in experiences or observations. It's abstract and oftentimes made up of complex ideas. Theories frequently seek to explain why or attempt to explain what something is if it is not yet scientifically proven. Theories based on observations and common sense. The earth is flat was once a theory. The mother determines the sex of a child, also once a theory. When we try to understand why things happen and how they happen, we develop theories based on our observations, our experiences, and as we share those with others, when there are common observations and experiences, theories develop and evolve. The earth was flat seemed to be the only likely conclusion that was drawn in the medieval times and prior to that, because if it wasn't, we would just fall off of it when we attempt to circumnavigate the earth. We learned later, in fact, through those who did circumnavigate the earth, that the earth was round. We didn't understand why we could stay on a round ball, but we did learn that the earth, in fact, was round. Later theories that suggested why we could stay on some round ball and not fall off of it were developed, and eventually the answers were also proven. The mother determines the sex of their child is another theory that was long held. Sort of makes sense. Moms carry the baby, so of course they're going to have more in the say of a lot of things that have to do with the child that comes out. Having said that, in fact, it's 50-50, but genetics had not yet been defined. We didn't know how the sex was determined, and there are many things today that we still don't know yet in terms of how they're determined. We just have theories that through genetic discoveries, we will understand those answers. Once we have a factual answer, the earth is round, the sex of the child is actually determined by the male or the sperm, then we no longer have a theory, we have a fact. Theories in natural sciences can oftentimes be proven or disproven, like those we just talked about. Some theories are much more difficult to prove or disprove. In the social sciences, human services, and education, we cannot prove theories, but we can provide added support to refute them through empirical research. And that's what we're doing in our proposals for our class. Now let's talk about scientific theory that's a little bit more specific than theory in general. In Research Design and Methods class, we focus on scientific theory, whether you're in a biology class, a psychology class, an education class, or assistive technology studies and human services class. University of California, Berkeley defines scientific theory as a broad, natural explanation for a wide range of phenomena. Theories are concise, coherent, systematic, predictive, and broadly applicable, often integrating and generalizing many hypotheses. Theories are not fact. They can be proven, disproven, and can be accepted or rejected, much like hypotheses. Scientific theories exist in all disciplines and subdisciplines. Biology, the notion that something like DNA exists was once a theory. Psychology, linguistics, business management, information technology, history, and in the areas of disability studies and technology, assistive technology studies. Within all of these fields, there are theories that are applied to help people understand how and why things happen. And when we start new research, we first start by looking at the theories that already exist in the related topics. An example that I'm going to give you is focused on sociological theory. In sociology, there are theories to explain societal or social inequality. Conflict theory is one of the major theoretical foundations in the field of sociology, and it explains the existence of haves or have-nots, those are the wealthy, and those who are not wealthy, in complex societies, reinforces and perpetuates inequalities among groups and societies. So according to conflict theory, the haves want this inequality to exist and want to perpetuate that so that they don't have to evenly distribute all of the resources. Conflict theorists believed that believe that options are limited for people with lesser means, and therefore the have-nots are likely to remain have-nots or likely to remain more poor. Functionalist theory is sort of the opposite theory in the field of sociology. These are the two really grounding theories of the field of sociology that you learn when you take an intro class. Functionalist theory states that complex societies need people to do varied levels of tasks, and the value of these tasks, and therefore those people, unfortunately, is based on the complexity of the task and the ability to replace those who can do it, so the supply and demand argument. Therefore, inequality is unavoidable when societies become large and complex, and in fact it's necessary for society. Every society needs medical doctors, accountants, teachers, garbage collectors. Functionalists, though, believe that hierarchies and statuses are necessary, but that people can choose to elevate themselves through actions, education, and so on. Conflict theories believe that the world is created with inequalities purposely to keep people from being able to move up or down. Functionalist theorists believe that while these inequalities exist, one can move their way out of their circumstance if they wish to. Theories in assistive technology and human services. In Chapter 2 of your proposal, you will describe the theoretical framework or theoretical foundation for your topic, the previous theories that have been developed that explain why or how something exists. Now, you may not find a theory that has a title like conflict theory or functionalist theory. You may just find within the literature that there are people or organizations or entities that have consistently explained why people abandon or discontinue AT devices. Those explanations for why are still theories and could be included in your theoretical foundation or theoretical framework section of your chapter. Tobin Siebers authored a book on disabilities called Disability Theory. Many theories you all should be familiar with are thoroughly discussed in this book, Disability Theory, through the University of Michigan Press. If you click on this presentation, it will take you to that site. But just type in Disability Theory, Tobin Siebers, and University of Michigan Press, and you'll find the book. It's also on Amazon.com. Theories on what disability means and why it is a significant factor in society have evolved a great deal. Older theories describe disability as biological or a medical matter, leading those in the field to seek out cures for disabilities. Today, disability is seen in the theoretical notions about disability as a social and a political phenomenon. People with disabilities have contributed to the literature and changed how we theorize about disabilities. In fact, the term differently abled is more commonly used to describe people with different mobility, learning, cognitive, and other challenges and abilities. There are theories to describe how and why this has come about. Checking out this book might give you some notions on those why and how explanations, and therefore help you with your theoretical foundation. Theories in assistive technology and human services, we have more. Disability Studies Quarterly is a journal. They describe themselves in this way. It's a multidisciplinary and international journal of interest to social scientists, scholars in the humanities, scholars in disability rights advocates, creative writers, and anyone or others concerned with the issues of people with disabilities. It represents the full range of methods, epistemologies, perspectives, and content that the multidisciplinary field of disability studies embraces. This journal should be one that you're regularly checking in on. If you check in on this journal, maybe you go through Marcia Henry in the library for some more information on how to tap into that. You can learn more about theories that have been proposed in the field. Another theoretical area that's relevant to the assistive tech field is critical disability theory, which challenges the ableist assumptions that permeate society. Many of you could cite critical disability theory in your research. You may find explanations for notions you've been trying to explain in the chapters of the acclaimed book, Critical Disability Theory. More on theories in assistive technology and human services. Many are studying AT and disabilities, are interested in the societal intersection between disability, race, class, and gender, just to name a few of those intersections. Goodley, Hughes, and Leonard have authored a text entitled Disability and Social Theory. that would likely be relevant to much of what assistive tech professionals wish to explore and apply. These books that I'm talking about, these journals that I'm talking about, as you go into the field with your master's in assistive technology and human services, you should probably have a copy of each in your possession, in your office, on your bookcases, and maybe even a subscription to that journal. Adams of University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee has outlined factors in AT device abandonment, also a theoretical framework for why AT devices are abandoned. Based on our definition of theory that we've talked about here, the scientific definition of theory, they have proposed a theory about abandonment that is likely relevant in many research proposals in this class. So in sum, theories explain phenomena. They explain why things happen, or at least they attempt to, and they attempt to explain how they happen, and they attempt to give descriptions and details and characteristics of these things so that we can predict future behavior or future anything that has to do with that theory. When we seek to answer how and why, we're seeking theories, even if we don't know if that's what we're doing. When the 5-year-old in the backseat of your car, when you're driving them to school, keeps saying, "Why, Mommy? Why, Daddy?" They're asking for facts, and sometimes we're giving them theories. Sometimes all they need is a good theory to help them understand what has happened in the past, how so, and especially to predict what may happen in the future. Theories can be supported by data that may also be integrated into the theory. So it's not that theories are without fact at all. Each time we do research that supports a theory, we are providing data that bolsters that theory. Sometimes theories can actually be proven and we can have fact, like DNA, that the sperm that the male contributes is actually what determines the sex of a child, and that the earth is in fact flat. But in education, human services, and most of the social sciences and humanities, we aren't seeking fact. We're seeking as close to fact as we can get, and to try to prove our theories as close as possible without suggesting that we can 100% prove them. So theories evolve also as we study them in varying contexts and add to our understanding of how or why things exist or happen. To generate theory, we need to start from theory. Some of you will be generating theory as you complete your research proposals. Therefore, your proposals will include theory that exists, that provides a foundation for what you will study. So there are theories out there that are important to the research that you're doing. You're contributing to those, and some